this is AI War. It's a grand strategy game about playing as the humans fighting against a powerful AI that has already destroyed the human civilization and taken over the galaxy. You're the last remnant and must fight against them in order to survive. It's a somewhat unusual game. It's got a lot of settings and is generally quite complicated with many tooltips like the one you can see when I hover over these, or ones you can see, which I love because I love reading tooltips, which is probably somewhat unusual overall. So I have played a fair amount of this game. I'm probably not the best player, but I'm decent at it, I think. And I've been thinking about, and I haven't yet played a particular setting here, the Exodian Blade. I honestly don't know what this setting does because I have avoided reading any spoilers for it. And the description is "Be careful, sharp." I think hacking's involved to somehow locate something, and it's something like Fallen Spire, which allows you to fight the AI more directly, rather than the more skirmishy strategy that you usually adopt when playing this game. So, I was tossing up what exactly to do with the rest of the settings. There's all sorts of things I can do in the game, but I'm actually thinking I might go with a pretty minimalist approach this time around. Just try to focus the game around this Exodian Blade, whatever it is. I also have never played with Nomad Planets, but I'll leave that till next time. It's kind of interesting seeing them popping up there as I change that setting. Yes, so any other options? AI plots. I could turn on hybrid hives, which could be interesting, but I think I would prefer to keep with this idea of keeping it fairly focused on the Exodian Blade only. In terms of the AI types, there's a variety of different settings you can use for the AI, of various different difficulties. I haven't played with either of these ones. I kind of was looking at these guys before, so I might use these. They sound somewhat interesting. The strategic reserve can be fun to deal with, and I don't know exactly what it's going to pop up on, but it could make the game interesting. And kite flying, that sounds just quite annoying, honestly. But, you know, try something new. So, each of these locations is a location where I can have my home world, which gives me a particular starting ship. If I believe I can right-click and pick a specific starting ship if I really cared to, but I usually just go with one of the ones here, which kind of biased me to perhaps pick a location that I might not otherwise have. But in this case, we have a bombard ship over here, which I love because it's super long range, and long ranges tend really very helpful in this game. And it's also only got 2 wormhole connections, which make it slightly more defensible, which is also often helpful. So, let's get into the game. Now that I've spent 5 minutes setting things up, which honestly says a lot about the way this game works. So, I'm going to try to give a bit of an intro to how... Tracking the second exile, okay. How the game works as I go. So, at the start, you've got this little home area. You've got your science lab, that'll give you research, which is this over here. I'll talk about that more later. Energy collector gives you power. You get 2 free engineers, which are engineer drone Mark IIs, which you can't actually build at the start, so they're kind of important in a manner of speaking. They're not really very important, but it's best if you don't lose them. I've also got these scout drones here, which are also Mark II that I can't build at the start. I'll need to build many more scout drones, which I will just queue up here in the space dock. So first thing I usually do, tell it to auto build scout, because I'll be sending them all over the place to begin with. This is for building starships, and this one builds mercenaries. Starships are expensive and powerful compared to your regular fleet ships, which are much smaller and cheaper. So usually generally in this game, you have ship caps, and you just want to build all the ships you can. So you just tell your space dock to build everything and never look at it again. These guys here are all things that you never ever want to lose, because they give you free resources, and if you lose them you get AI progress, which is really bad. And this is your home command station. You lose that and you lose the game, which is problematic because they decided to make it out of paper mache, so it will blow up at the slightest enemy assault. This means that you want to protect your command station, so I usually plonk down a couple of extra force field generators. You do have this one force field generator here, which is a special player home force field generator. It has a really big shield area, but they also made it out of paper mache, so it has less health, I believe, than even the regular Mark I force fields. No, the same health as the Mark I force field. Still, not great protection for your home command station. So, the next thing I usually like to do at the start of this game is to unlock the military command stations. If you're playing on an easier difficulty, this is less important, but on higher difficulties like difficulty 9, having the extra firepower that the military command station offers is really helpful, because it not only has some fairly effective guns of its own, it also multiplies the attack of everything on the planet you put it on, and your home command station gets a couple of free fold-outs for these things. There they are, popping up now. So those will just act like a regular military 3 command station, which you can see here gives you a 100% attack boost for all allied units on the planet. Now, the other thing about force fields is that generally your units will get lower attack value when they're under a force field, so usually you don't want to be under a force field in almost every situation. So before we actually start worrying much about attacking, we want to worry about defense. So we have 2 wormholes here, which are nice and conveniently placed right next to each other, which gives me plenty of opportunities to have my turrets able to attack both wormholes. You can see both in there. The AI will come through these wormholes and attack me. They will, in most cases, pretty much beeline the home command center because they know that it's made of paper mache, presumably. So I am going to set up some turrets here. I may or may not skip this bit. So first, sniper turrets. These guys have infinite range, so just whack them on the other side of the solar system so that they will never ever get attacked and can just, shoot at the enemy forever. The other ones, it's a bit more complicated. There's various ways you can do your defense. I'm perhaps a little lazy with it. I could do more effective defenses than I do, but what I do kind of does the job most of the time. So I'm just going to whack these here so that they can attack both these wormholes. Long range turrets that shoot missiles, shorter range turrets that shoot missiles. The turrets are basically just high power attack units that don't move. You just usually want to build lots of them, particularly on any planet that you really want to defend, like your home command planet. And yeah, just build all of them. Then, because this is a home command planet, okay, so each of those turrets that I just built have per planet caps, which means you can build more of them on every single one of your planets, so there's no problem that I've just built everything I can on this one planet, because later on I can just build more on another planet. But these guys, these tractor beam turrets, you only get one set for the entire galaxy, so you will have to be a bit more sparing on them. However, this is my home planet, so I'm going to build some anyway. The AI won't, even on difficulty 9, the AI won't attack with that many units early on, so I can get away without too many. And now I just basically sit here and watch my money go away very quickly. I guess while that's happening, I'll talk about some of the other aspects of the game. So, money, this is something you can largely ignore. The amount of money you have depends on how many planets you have and how many special resources you have, but for all practical purposes, you don't really have much control of that, so who cares? This is the galaxy map. So this whole area that I've been looking at, this is one solar system. These are all the other solar systems. The AI owns all of them. I will tell my engineers to build this. Oh yes, that's another important aspect of the AI I haven't gotten to yet. The controls panel. This is very important. Lots and lots of options and tooltips, which, as I say, I love. Funnily enough, I have actually majored in interface design, and I know why this is terrible, but it doesn't change my own personal preferences. So I have various settings that I like here. I like to be able to easily select my different types of starships. Well, these are sort of special types of starships that have other roles. I generally just want them to follow other parts of the fleet, so I'm not worried about that. Focus fire. The game defaults to spreading your shots to maximize the total damage dealt, but not killing things. I've usually just used this default behavior, but personally what I know about RTS says you should be focusing fire on enemies and killing them one at a time. So, I don't know, maybe this, like, I've been trying out this, and so far it's looking okay. I haven't done it. I should do some actual experiments to work out which one works better. But I don't. Where's the other one? There should be free roaming defender. Auto free roaming defender engineers, auto free roaming defender remains rebuilders. This will make your workers basically do everything that they should be doing without you having to tell them to do it. Which basically I see no reason to ever turn this off. Remains rebuilders rebuild buildings, so that your engineers... remains rebuilders find... When a building is destroyed, they leave remains. A remains rebuilder will turn those into a half-health building, and your engineers can then rebuild the building, which removes micro and is also slightly cheaper than rebuilding it from scratch. So you I generally just leave those ones on. I also usually put this up to 1 and this up to 1. This will tell every planet I build to build one engineer and one remains rebuilder, just so that they will always have something. Like they will always have someone who's able to rebuild all the things that are destroyed on the planet, which happens fairly frequently in this game. A lot of the this game is designed to minimize your micromanagement and let you focus on grand strategy, so a lot of these option settings are basically to let you do that. I don't want to discard them, I want to apply them. There we go. And then, this is for this specific planet. This specific planet has all my ship constructors and stuff, so I wanted to have some extra engineers, so I'll just tell it to build 20 extra engineers. And this way I don't have to manually build any of this. Oh, yes, auto-build energy collectors. Every planet, you always want to build an energy collector. There is no reason not to have energy collectors everywhere. So that basically should just be on. Okay, so that's that. Yes, so the AI controls every planet, but you need to defeat the AI who have homeworlds somewhere on here that you should attack and take over. The AI homeworlds are like the trick in this game is that the AI is supposed to be ignoring you. The AI is supposed to have defeated humanity and left only a tiny remnants in the form of this stuff, and then have gotten distracted somehow by something going on in another galaxy. I'm just scouting here. Just send the group of scouts out all together and find out what's going on in the nearby solar systems. And they will get killed, but that's fine. They're cheap. So, what you want to do is you don't want the AI to notice you, and this represents how much the AI has noticed you. This is the most important number in the game. If this gets too high compared to your personal power, you will lose the game. And in general, things you do that increase AI progress, especially on higher difficulties, do not give you as much power as it gives the AI, essentially. So you generally want you want to minimize this a bit. There are also various structures and things in the game that you can destroy to get rid of AI progress. Maybe I should just hold the mouse still so you can see this. And that can help a lot. But ultimately, you need to minimize the things you are doing that cause this, because otherwise it will cause you to lose the game. Hacking I'll talk about later. Knowledge is... You can collect up to 3,000 knowledge per planet, and it allows you to unlock things like these military command stations I unlocked when I started. That cost me almost all my science, because they're really good, so they cost a lot of knowledge. There's a huge amount of units in this game. These are just the things you can unlock normally, but you can unlock a ton, like a ton more just regular ships and starships by capturing various things in the galaxy. Not to mention the tons of things that you can get by having all those settings on that I turned off. Oh yes, I should build a couple of force fields over here too, just to protect my tractor beams. Say you don't want them over the guns because they'll reduce the firepower of the guns, but tractor beams don't have guns. They have tractors, so they don't get reduced firepower, so no reason not to have them under a force field. Okay, so... Oh, that was actually running. It's taking so long that I thought it might not have been, but no, my economy is just completely tanked. Power. Power is also important. That's what those energy collectors I was mentioning do. The energy collector produces power, 150,000 energy. Home command station produces more power, not much power, but a little bit. And you get a bit more power from all of these, giving you a alright stockpile to start the game with. Hopefully, yeah, my turrets are all done. You need power to build turrets and to build ships and basically everything. So power is a very important resource, especially because there's a kind of limited supply, because I've got this one energy collector. If I go here to the energy collector, I can't build another one. You can only have one energy collector per planet. You can build these metal converters, but they cost a lot of metal to power. And metal is your last resource. It is important in a sense, but it's also something that you generally ignore because it just kind of happens. When you conquer a planet, you'll automatically build these metal harvesters, and you'll build your command station, or probably, depending on the type, will give you a bit of metal. You don't really have a lot of mechanisms to kind of change that. So you can't take planets just to get more metal, because that will not increase your power enough. So you basically just take the planets that you're going to take anyway, and the power is just one of the bonuses you get from that planet. Yeah, so that's power.